First of all, you are right. Friedrich Merz, who is the head of the Conservative Party, will be most likely the new German Chancellor. Friedrich Merz will not be able to govern alone with his party alone. He got 30% roughly of the vote, so he has to have a coalition partner. Last Conservative Chancellor was Angela Merkel. She had excellent relations with the Prime Minister and the Indian government, and I expect the same for the new government. First of all, you are right. Friedrich Merz, who is the head of the Conservative Party, will be most likely the new German Chancellor. He has to be elected in Parliament. Parliament has to be constituted. This is 30 days from the election, so that would be by the end of March. And then we'll still have what we call a coalition negotiation. So Friedrich Merz will not be able to govern alone with his party alone. He got 30% roughly of the vote, so he has to have a coalition partner. So what we see in the next weeks is parties sitting together and trying to form a coalition that will end with a so-called coalition treaty, a contract between the two parties, as it were. And then once this is finished, Friedrich Merz, the candidate, can go to Parliament and ask to get elected as the new Chancellor. So I guess he has said by Easter, which is 20th of April, he wants to have a working government. Now that's basically the benchmark he has to hold now.
So how do you see India-Germany relationship as we move forward, and when we are going to have a new government, how will be the relationship like?
So it's, I think, easy to say. Foreign policy in Germany is rather consensual. So whether it's the Conservative Party or more the left-center parties who rule the government, it was very, the continuity on the foreign policy is notable. So you remember the last Conservative Chancellor was Angela Merkel. She had excellent relations with the Prime Minister and the Indian government, and I expect the same for the new government. I think there will be no change in our clear sort of attention towards India, our conviction that India is a very important partner, and I would not be surprised if members of the government in the months to come will also travel to India.
So many world leaders have already congratulated Merz. Do you expect a call or a tweet from the Indian side as well?
So I think, you can only congratulate once he has been elected a chancellor, and that's not the case yet. So I think, there is a sort of a diplomatic tradition to congratulate, but not now. So I think let's wait until he's get elected in Parliament.
What, according to you, are going to be his priorities at home and both abroad?
So as you know, this is a very difficult situation. Internationally, we are in many crises. We find ourselves on a world stage that is crisis-ridden. So I think on the foreign policy field, the Chancellor will very quickly try to get Europe more together, closer together, the European Union working. That's a very important part. He will invest a lot in the transatlantic relationship, which is for us very, very important, America being one of our closest allies. And I think he will spend a lot of time in investing in this. And he will also try to reach out to partners around the globe that are important for us, and India is certainly one of them.
So Merz has outlined a strict approach towards immigration. What does this mean for Indians in Germany? What impact would it have on the Indians in Germany?
So when you follow German politics, you realize that there is a clear distinction between what we call illegal migration and legal migration. There is no doubt that Germany needs skilled labor migration, and therefore our efforts to get Indians enthusiastic or motivated to come to Germany will prevail. At the same time, we will try to reduce, the new government will try to reduce the influx of illegal migrants to Germany. That is a clear order the government got by the public vote, and I think that will be a very, very strong priority of the new Merz government. But when it comes to India, our migration history is very good, because it's in the almost 99% is legal migration. So I think India citizens who want to come to Germany to study in Germany, to work in Germany, if they choose the legal path, they have nothing to fear.
So we have a very important visit to India. I mean, the European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen is coming to India with College of Commissioners, first outside Europe. How do you see the significance of the visit?
You can't overestimate this gesture, that the whole collegium is coming to India under her leadership. I can't remember that I've seen something like that in my lifetime. So I think it's a very, very strong signal she's sending out. It means that Europe is looking towards India, at India, and tries to do things with India. And I'm very happy that the Indian government will receive this president and her collegium, and the Commission royally here, and they will have, I'm sure, a very, very fruitful day tomorrow. But it is a clear signal that in these uncertain times, India and Europe have to get together, join hands in trying to get things done in a better way. And I think one of the most important aspects is the FTA, and I think there is a political will from both sides to get to a certain level to make more progress with the FTA, and therefore I think this is a wonderful opportunity to reinforce and renew this commitment for a conclusion of a FTA in the not so far future.
And so what are your expectations when it comes to Russia-Ukraine war?
Yeah, that's a very, very interesting question. I think everybody around the globe is happy if this war ends, but it has to end in a way that, the country that was aggressed, the country that was invaded, the country that was, that lost a lot of lives, like Ukraine in this case, has to be at the table, has to be involved with the peace negotiations. There is no way that there is a sort of a diktat peace with Ukraine. So we do hope that all the efforts that are undertaken now will lead to the fact that Ukraine will have its appropriate place at the table of these negotiations.
So just last question, what will be Germany's policy towards Ukraine, especially when we have a new president in US, who, during his first cabinet briefing yesterday he said that Europe was formed to screw US. So
yeah, well,
no comments on that.
we have, the president, the current American president, we have seen him in his previous tenure, is very strong when it comes to wording, and he has very, very strong ideas sometimes. We will have to see what happens really on the ground, and I am very confident that the efforts that the current American administration is undertaking will include relevant partners, and Europe is basically a relevant partner. We should not forget Europe has paid the burden share, the lion's share has of all the money that went into Ukraine, be that for defense equipment or be that for humanitarian aid or other support. So Europe has been a very, very steadfast partner for Ukraine over the last 3 years and will be continuing to do so. So basically, I think Europe has also to have a say at the table.